Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It is Candy here from sweetstamper.com, and I am here for your Thursday Facebook Live demonstration. I'm happy to be here. I'm going to give it just a minute to see if anybody's going to find me. Well, I know people will find me, so let me give them a few minutes. And I've had a busy but very productive day. And definitely feeling that Friday is coming. Tomorrow's Friday. I actually have a paper party event tomorrow night, an online event, and then I have an in-person bingo event. We make cards and we play bingo, and that is coming up on Saturday. So I've got a busy weekend, and my hubby is going to whisk me away for lunch tomorrow. To one of our kind of newish places that we found that we like, and so that's going to be fun. We get a little bit of time to catch up with each other. We're both going to be out of town next week, 2 different places, so it was important to kind of have a little time to ourselves. Hey, Jackie, I'm glad you're here with me today. So while we're kind of getting ready, this is not what I'm doing today. This is my Christmas card class for September, and it is open for registration. Hi, Betty. I'm glad you're here. So I just wanted to go over this briefly with you. I have released a video for this, but this is a really cool bundle, and I think it takes a little bit of working with to understand it. One of the things I really endeavor to do when I do any of my card classes is to use as many of the stamps and as many of the dies as I can, and to give you ideas on ways to use them. So this class is a $28. It's a series, a class series I'm doing. There's 4 in the series, Christmas card classes running from July through October. So it's a $28 class by mail, and so this one you get a piece, 1 6x6 piece each of these new glimmer papers in the holiday book. You're going to love these. Hi, Valerie. And then you get a 1/4 pack of the Boughs of Holly Designer Series papers. I love these. These are gorgeous, gorgeous papers. And so you get a 1/4 of a package, which means you get 2 of each 2 6x6 pieces, so that you have 1 of each, front and back to use. And then you're also going to get a roll of this soft succulent, and I love this because you know what? You're going to have enough left over. You can wrap some gift packages and make them really luxurious. You're going to get a 1/2 a package of the red rhinestones because you're going to use those quite a lot. And then I've created 5 different cards using the dies. All of that die cutting is done for you. Now, if you want to add on the bundle, you can. If you want to add on a stamp set, you can. But all this die cutting is done for you with my classes. So I typically will have 1 fun fold, and every one of these I've put some kind of a little a die or a punch or something inside just to have a little interest. Here again is one of those dies, very unique. And then this is this circle die with this little bit of interest here. That's also part of the Brightest Glow bundle. And here I've made a Christmas ornament just layered up, combined with the layering circles, and then that one that's in this set. And again, there's that beautiful, this beautiful label die that's part of this Brightest Glow. And then my simplest card is here. And one of the greetings is let your heart be light. So I thought, well, let's put that into a heart. I like to do something a little unexpected. So this is the 5 cards. You do get your envelopes, and this class also includes a tag. So this is the tag. Now this ribbon is not the ribbon that's in your package, but I'm going to give you a piece so that you can, and then there's your place where you can write your to and from. But isn't that a pretty little tag? Super simple, but really pretty. So all of that comes prepped and ready to go for you, and it's only $28. So that is my Christmas card class by mail, open for registration, and it is a September class by mail. So I'm going to be out of town next week, and I knew I needed to get this up and running. Plus, registration closes on, I think, the 4th. So I knew I needed to get this out the door quickly, or at least not out the door. I will get it out the door quickly, but I needed to get it into your hands for registration purposes. Okay. Now, Tuesday, we used the dies from Perched in a Tree, which you can get for free right now with a $100 order from Celebration. This is my host code for August. Today, I'm going to be using the stamps because typically on Thursday, I do simple stamping. Now, I'm getting ready to kind of do some changes here with my Facebook Lives. But I'm going out of town next week, and I need to kind of have a little bit of time to process everything. But last week, or I guess, no, it was this week on Tuesday, I went live at 7 o'clock. That worked really well for a lot of us, including me. So I'm looking at changing the Thursday to a 7 o'clock. And but I need a little bit of time to kind of get all my ducks in a row so that when I roll this out, I don't want to roll it out when I'm getting ready to be out of town. So the Stampin' Up! Leadership event is in New Orleans next week. I'm super excited about it. I've got several team members going, and you had to qualify to go to this event. So it's a really big deal. And on top of that, I'm one of the speakers, so I've been asked to present, and that's actually why I have had to bump some of my Facebook Lives, is I was doing rehearsals and on Zoom. And so anyway, it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be exciting to have demonstrators gathered together for the first time in a long time. We've been doing this event virtually, but doing it in person is altogether different. So I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to do a his and hers card, and I'm just using stamp ink and paper. I might add a little embellishment, but I'm going to do a masculine and a feminine card using the bird from Perched in a Tree. Now, I'm doing my bird kind of all kind of year-round bird. He just definitely doesn't look like it's winter time. So I'm not going to use any of these because I didn't feel like they fit with what I'm doing for my card. So what I'm doing instead is I'm pulling out my trusty go-to greetings. And I really like the fact that you can find the scale that works best for your card. I really wanted my bird to be very bold here, and he's a nice big fat bird. He is a well-fed bird, although, there's some birds that just kind of have that shape. And so I'm using one of the smaller greetings from here. Okay, so let's get stamping. Now, what I'm going to do is we are going to do a little blending brush work, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping. I'm going to do my stamping first. I'm actually, instead of doing Tuxedo Black Memento ink, I'm actually going to use the basic gray. This is just going to create a little bit of a softer look, which is what I'm wanting. And this branch is just lovely, kind of well, it looks a bit like a birch tree, but of course this is aspen dies. So I'm going to bring it about halfway because I'm going to bring my bird kind of down on the lower part of the branch. And I'm going to just do these side by side. And the only thing that's going to make them masculine or feminine, you will see, is kind of the way I layer them up with some cards. Or with cardstock, sorry. Okay, so that part's done. Now we're going to get this chubby bird. He is so pretty. And yeah, we do a lot of bird watching at our house. We spend a fair amount on birdseed because we love the birds so much. We get such great songbirds coming to our feeders. I didn't get him quite where I wanted him to. So let's make, honestly, you'd be better off probably doing this with Stamparatus, but I'm kind of flying quickly today. That's more like I wanted him. You know what? Let's just turn this over. That will work. That's one of the beautiful things about our basic white cardstock is it is thick enough that you can just flip it over, especially since I haven't started stamping yet. Okay, so let's bring him down just a wee bit more so he's on the branch, looking like he's just landing. I like it. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to make a bit of a bluebird. And before I start coloring him with blends, I'm actually just going to do a little bit of balmy blue. And I'm just going to create a little bit of, kind of a little bit of a sky, and also just kind of taking the rawness out of this basic white cardstock. You could also do this exact card with Very Vanilla. I almost went in that direction today and then decided, well, you know, I think I'll stick to white. So, you know, you could mask the bird and do all kinds of things to where you get the ink right close to him, but I think this is good enough for government work, as my daddy used to say. So we just give him a little bit of sky around him, just really soft. Balmy blue is probably the best sky color we currently have. Pool party, oops, I got a little smudge there. Oh well, it is a handmade card, so we'll be okay. Pool party is also a really nice blue for sky. So I'm glad, you know, Elizabeth is asking what type of bird it is. I think it could be a number of birds. To be honest, this shape is fairly common. So he looks a bit like an English robin, but he also looks a little bit like a, probably an English robin. That's probably my first thought, but I think he looks like a chubby, well, he's probably too chubby for a wren. Now I'm going to do Thinking of You right down here, like so, because I really want my bird to show up, and I just want this I decided not to bring in another color of cardstock or like a layer, just super simple. And I'm just going to layer it up after I color the bird. So let's see what we can do with the bird. So yeah, I'm kind of blank on, after I said he could be, actually he could also be a chickadee. So we could do him in black and white and make him a chickadee, and that would be really cute. So I'm going to start with his top bit first, and I'm going to use dark Tahitian Tide. Isn't that pretty? And I'm just kind of purposely using kind of stroke marks because I don't want a real strong line. And I'm just going to kind of go around the bits there. Oh, okay, so Dudley said a fat chickadee as well. Okay, I'm just now looking at comments. Yeah, when we were, we spent 9 years in England, and that's where our younger son and his family live now. And we had, the English robins are very different from the American robin, and they're actually very, you see them a lot in the wintertime, and they're beautiful, and they have a reddish breast area. They're absolutely beautiful, and they're quite friendly. So they're kind of an iconic image of Christmas in the UK. Okay, so that is going to be that. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit of dark crumb cake, and let's go ahead and take care of his little feet and his little beak. Just give it a little bit of color. And I do find with this guy that you really don't want to color too close to his eye, because you want that white, that brightness of his eye to really be prominent. And I'm just going along these kind of darker areas of the tree branch to give it a little bit of extra oomph. Now I'm going to come in with the light Tahitian Tide, and we're going to blend out. And you can see how he's coming together so nicely. And I am using the brush tip, and I'm going to make his chest a different color. So I'm going to just kind of bring this down like so. And I don't want too much of a mark there. So, you know, if you have too much mark with your blends, just keep going over it with the lighter color, and it will blend out the darker areas and pull a little bit of that ink so that you have a soft edge and not a harsh one. So you can see, I mean, this just takes a few minutes, but I do think the artwork on this bird is really exquisite. So that is our light and dark Tahitian tide. Now, for his little chest area, I'm opting to use the the ivory. So you can get the ivory and bronze come together, and I really like this. It's kind of a cocoa, a little bit of a rosy brown, has a softness to it. So I thought that would be kind of a nice color for his chest. And I'm kind of, you know, I'm not really making this a particular type of bird. I didn't go to the encyclopedia and get, you know, exact coloring for this little guy. I just decided that I wanted to do a bluish bird. Now, this is light crumb cake, and I'm going to go right along here and make a little bit of a line so that you can see his body, just to give it a little bit of definition. And then, kind of in keeping with, this is a little bit of a pinky or an orangey tan. And so what I'm going to do, I better do this while I have it out. Let's go ahead and do some light crumb cake on this branch. And honestly, if I have a little bit of white peeking out, it's actually a good thing. This is one of those things you don't need to have it all colored in perfectly. If you just kind of brush stroke it a little bit, you'll get a really nice effect. Now, last but not least, unexpected color. Of course, what am I going to use? I'm going to use light petal pink. It's kind of a peachy, fleshy tone, but look how it's going to bring my bird, really bring his chest and his body together in such a way that he looks really pretty. And you can see I wanted to have kind of a beige body, but I didn't want it to be too brown. And so this is helping me to have kind of a little mixture. And that is it. Oh, I'm going to do one more thing. You know what? I'm going to stick it down first. Now, this is where the his and hers comes in. So this is my his card. And look at that. I'm just going to mount this on a piece of, this is Pacific Point, which goes really, really well with Tahitian Tide. And then I'm going to mount that on a piece of crumb cake. And this makes a perfect card to send to a fella. So I could send this to my son. I could send it to my brother. I could send it to, you know, any male relatives, or maybe a male teacher, just a male friend, somebody that's going through some stuff. Seems like everybody I know is. And yeah, Jeanette, you love that bird. I do too. I just think he's gorgeous. Now, you know, when I look at this, I notice I have a little smudge down here, but I don't think anybody else is going to notice that. That is a totally flat card. It's stamped ink and paper. There's nothing else there. Goes for a single stamp. This would make a lovely, this is going to make anybody smile that gets it. And they're going to go, oh, did you make that? That's what they're going to say. Now, notice that I intentionally did basic gray so that all of this line and everything on here it's much softer than if I used the tuxedo black. Now, the one thing I'm going to, well, you know what? I think I'm only going to do it on the ladies card. So what I'm going to do for the feminine card, look what happens when I put that little bit of petal pink behind here, picks up that petal pink in the chest and just softens it a little bit more and brings that little bit of femininity to my card just by changing the card base. That's the only thing we're doing to make his and her cards with this beautiful, something just got on my, you know what, let me see if I can grab a adhesive remover and I don't know, something flew out of the ceiling fan. I don't, okay, this is going to have an embellishment right there. I don't think I was spitting on it. I don't know how that got there. So Again, I would probably be the only one really noticing that. So let's put, oh, now this is Pacific Point on both of these layers. So this is a 5 1/4 by 4 Pacific Point, 5 by 3 3/4 basic white. And now I have his and hers cards. So I'm doing his and hers, not simple and stepped up. Both simple, both super simple. Let me pull this out so you can see it a little bit better. I think it'll show up better on the darker background. And so the stamp set, Lisa's coming in, and the stamp set is called Perched in a Tree. Now this is the one, the reason I'm featuring this, Lisa, is on Tuesday I did cards with just the dies, because you can get the dies free right now with a $100 order. This is a celebration free item that you can get, even though this is in the mini catalog. So what happens is, that means this stamp set, which I think, I don't have it marked here, I think it's $23. You get the whole bundle for $23. Now, you would be spending, you know, you'd increase your order from 23 up to 100, but that's a pretty nifty price on the bundle. So, and then I opted not to use these greetings, and I pulled in go-to greetings, which I do a lot when I'm doing my Facebook Lives here. I think it's one of those must-have stamp sets. Now, this is my his and hers. What I'm going to do on hers is I am going to add just a little wink of Stella on the top of my bird, something that's only going to be noticeable in certain light. And because I have that little smudge, I did think I could add these. These are the new iridescent pearls, and that might look really pretty there. The other, I think these, I like the way these pick up the light. These are the opal rounds, but they might be a little bit big. I'm open to votes, so if anybody has a vote, I would love to hear. And then these are the little heart pearls, which would be another option because it's a thinking of you card. So tell me what you think. You know, I purposely kept it super, super simple. You know, you could add some ribbon in between the layers or something, but you know, sometimes less is more. And I think this is a really good example. I think especially when you have such exquisite artwork. The sand eraser, you know what? I do have one of those. Let me see if I can lay my hand on it really quick. And of course, it's not where it's supposed to be. I do have one of those. So maybe I don't need, what do you guys think? Do I need an embellishment or should I just leave it alone? Honestly, even just looking at it, I think it's actually pretty fine, just the way it is. And see how the artist has strategically drawn the bird so that it looks like he's just either getting ready to take off or just landing. So his back leg is strategically up higher so that you're not trying to like have him grip the branch. And I think that's good. Okay, so Dudley thinks it's cute just the way it is. So there are my nature cards. You know, I've kind of been on a kick with nature cards lately because I did the stylish sketches, which is a real nature set as well. But I do love nature cards. I think that they're so all-purpose. You can do them for just about any occasion. And as you can see here, they're great for masculine and feminine. And the only thing we changed was the card base. So I'm going to love you and leave you for today. I will be back here on Tuesday. And don't forget that I have a host code here. If you need to place an order, I'd love for you to place it with me. And Betty is weighing in. She likes my coloring on the bird. You know, super simple. And these are just, I mean, crumb cake. If you have blends, you need to have crumb cake. And I think the ivory and bronze is another one of those standards. And then this is just one of our in colors. So, you know, you didn't need 10 sets of blends or anything to get this really nice natural look. And I think, you know, birds are just one of those things that appeal to most of us. Now you can see where just a tiny little detail, but you see where I brought the blue up a little bit higher here, down a little bit here, and it almost changes the expression of the bird just a wee bit. So, okay, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna quit rabbiting on. Thank you so much for being here. If you are watching the replay on Facebook, I would love for you to just comment replay. And if you are watching on YouTube, because this will be downloaded to YouTube, I would really appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe so that you don't miss any of my videos. I am always on here twice a week with live demonstrations, and then sometimes I add another little one or two onto YouTube, particularly like with my classes and such. So that is it for today. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I will be here Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central. In the meantime, take care and God bless.